What actions you perform when a Kubernetes pod is in a crash loop back-off state. When a Kubernetes pod is in a crash loop back-off state, it means the container is repeatedly crashing and restarting. To troubleshoot this issue, follow these steps. Inspect the pod's events and status. Use the kubectl describe pod name -n namespace command to get detailed information about the pod, including events and status. Look for any error messages or issues that could be causing the container to crash. Check the container logs. Use the kubectl logs pod name -n namespace -c container name, previous command to view the logs of the crashed container. Look for error messages or other issues that might explain why the container is crashing. Validate the container image. Ensure that the container image specified in the pod's configuration is available, correctly named, and accessible by the cluster. Check for issues with the image registry, such as authentication or network problems. Examine the container's readiness and liveness probes. If the pod has readiness or liveness probes configured, ensure that they are correctly set up and pointing to the appropriate endpoints. Misconfigured probes can cause the container to be terminated and restarted. Check resource limits and requests. Verify that the container's resource limits and requests are set correctly. If a container exceeds its memory limit, it will be terminated by the Kubernetes system. Adjust the limits and requests as needed. Review the container's startup and entry point commands. Ensure that the container's startup command, entry point, or command arguments are correctly configured. Incorrect commands or arguments can cause the container to exit prematurely. Inspect the application code and dependencies. Review the application code and dependencies for any issues that might be causing the container to crash. This could include unhandled exceptions, configuration errors, or missing dependencies. Verify the container's environment variables. Check the container's environment variables to ensure they are set correctly and match the expected values. Incorrect environment variables can lead to application errors and crashes. Test container locally. If possible, run the container locally using Docker or another container runtime to reproduce the issue and gather more information. This can help you identify any issues specific to the container or its configuration. By following these troubleshooting steps, you should be able to identify and resolve the cause of a Kubernetes pod being stuck in a crash loop back-off state.